need to just post these. So a little bit of housekeeping real quick for everyone. I have to post the post on Twitter. Okay, that's done. And then I can't post on StockTwits because I'm banned for a few hours. Hey everybody. So I'm doing YouTube live and TikTok at the same time. Everyone, this is Brian at Pray Trade Repeat. Both the TikTok and the YouTube are called Pray Trade Repeat. And today we're talking about the study that came out yesterday that was super interesting regarding, we're going to start out, we'll talk about everything, but we'll talk about PSX-001, the psilocybin, synthetic psilocybin assisted therapy. And let me share the chart with you on the live stream. Close. If anyone, if you guys on whatever, I don't like my camera over here. If you guys can please share this to StockTwits, that'd be great, because I got banned because I was selling t-shirts. I apologize. No more t-shirts. Okay, fine. I was trying to sell t-shirts for Pray Trade Repeat. so they banned me from StockTwits for 3 days, or 20 hours or something like that. I'll be back. But I just wanted to, let's see if that looks a little weird too. I don't know what's up with my camera today. Hey guys on YouTube, what's up? See, there's 5 people in here. Oh God, it looks so weird. So let me get the chart up because I don't want to look at myself. Here's the chart. Share. Ding. And okay, we can start our conversation now. It looks like my price box. It needs to be up a little bit more. And you can see what's happening today. Okay. Everybody on TikTok, this is Pray Trade Repeat. Typically, most of the time, we talk about IXHL, Inconnex Healthcare Inc. If you're new to the stock, this is an incredible investment opportunity, especially right now today, given the the lead up to the NVIDIA earnings. What we have here is basically the stock is trading at the floor, at the absolute floor. So the floor for this stock, if you don't know, is it's 0.3345 to 49 or something like that. Basically 33.5 cents. So if you haven't invested in IXHL, I'm going to give you every reason to invest, and you've never had time on your side in a better situation than you do right now. But also I wanted to talk about, let's double look and see. Okay, great. So that's only showing that. Wonderful. So as you guys can see, if you're looking at the chart, I can't show you my chart on Hey Olympia, on IXHL, right? I mean, on TikTok, but I can show you the chart. You guys are all watching the chart live on YouTube. If you want to watch on YouTube and see the chart, it's Pray Trade Repeat is the or my name, Brian Kelty. You'll find me on, and I'm live now. Okay, enough talk. Is there anybody in the chat? What's going on, guys? Yeah, like I said, do me a favor. If anyone in there can just post that I'm live on StockTwits, because I have a 20-hour ban. I'm not allowed to back on StockTwits because I was posting my website for my t-shirts and stuff like that. God forbid I try to make a couple dollars so I can keep doing this. You know what I mean? So I can keep trying to help the narrative and grow the stock for everyone. I've made a total of 50 videos, and the YouTube has paid me a total of $39.95 or something like that since May. So as you can see, you don't make a lot of money doing these videos. You don't make any money, basically. You barely make that. I pay more for anyway. So I'm not making a lot of money here. I started posting t-shirts. People, I guess, reported me, and I got banned from StockTwits. But I'm not here to talk about t-shirts, my website. I'm here to talk about the stock. So yeah, please post the link to the YouTube or the link to the TikTok on StockTwits. That's where a lot of people are, and I want to get everyone here talking about the same thing. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the study which came out yesterday. Well, it didn't come out yesterday, but there was some notes on it. Let me cancel that. And let's see. Okay, I'm gonna close that, make this simple, and get my notes. Where'd the notes go? Okay. Give me 1 second. So you can see, guys, today, look, you see the price started out around 34, almost 35 cents. Just a second. I'm having some issues here. And now we're trading down here. We went as far down as, and when I talk about the floor, in my opinion, in my conviction, I've been saying that the floor is 33.5 cents, and it has been. And you'll see on like the worst days, on like the worst macro issues, we have not crashed past that floor. But you're seeing, price is getting slammed down towards that floor, and we're all waiting the obviously NVIDIA earnings today after market closes. Just a second. I'm running into, this is super annoying. Why would you not have the notes that that's one side. Okay, I'll give that a second. So yeah, we're at we started out around 30, almost 35 cents. We're down now at almost 34 cents. So that's kind of where it's trading. So what are we at? So the whole point, the whole reason I'm on here today is to talk about this. As everybody may have noticed, I think on StockTwits and Twitter, people are talking about the Monash University study. It was in partnership with INConnect Healthcare, and it's regarding PSX001. If you don't know what, hey everyone, hey Mickey, Kathleen. If you don't know what PSX001 is, and just quickly one more update now that I have everything in front of me, all the housekeeping is done. This is a live to talk about the stock IXHL, INConnect Healthcare Inc. They have 3 assets. The first ever oral medication for sleep apnea. It's called IHL 42X. It's a combination therapy of cannabinoid, CBD, and acetazolamide. I don't know what that is. And acetazolamide and CBD, right? So it's a cure. It's a pill cure for sleep apnea. Everyone knows sleep apnea. You have to wear the mask. That's the only cure for sleep apnea is this crazy mask. So just a second. I'm getting, some idiot is interrupting me over and over and over again on my streams. So I apologize for continually being interrupted by some moron that has nothing else to do. Again, so IXHL, INConnect Healthcare Inc. If you're into trading and you're into investing, this is one of the best setups of all time, especially if you've never even started your investment in the stock. Today is the day. It's at the floor. It's at 0.3371 right now, currently on the chart. I'm sharing the chart on YouTube. And yeah, so that's where it's at. So they have 3 assets. They have IHL 42X. That's the sleep apnea oral medication. It's cannabinoid oil, which is CBD, and combination therapy and acetazolamide. The 2 are combination therapy. It's a pill form. It is super effective, no suicidal effects, no toxic effects at all. And yeah, so anyway, so that's the major number one asset for this stock is IHL42X. The second one is the one we're going to talk about a little bit more today. I don't know what's up with the chat. Is anybody in here or no? There's six people in here. That's okay. It doesn't matter. A lot of people are at work and they watch the replay later. There's 6 people on YouTube. There's a few more on TikTok. But let's talk about this. So again, breaking it down, Inconex Healthcare Inc. The best penny stock you could possibly buy is trading at 33 cents right now. That's the floor. It doesn't get lower than this. If you need to know the shares outstanding, there's 346 million shares outstanding. It's set up to be for a merger, acquisition, partnership, etc., with huge pharmaceutical companies. Like this is a biotech for like Jazz, ResMed, Pfizer, Novix, Eli Lilly are all like most likely knocking on the door because it's the first oral medication for sleep apnea. So if you have the first oral medication for sleep apnea, you're going to be up against a lot of challenges. And the stock reflects that right now. It's in phase 2 of in clinical trials. There's 3 phases before it goes to marketing, and it has to be approved. All these phases have to be approved. They have to get through all these phases. This is in phase 2/3. That's the number one asset. It's called IHL42X. Okay. So if you haven't invested in IXHL, today's the day. Do it now. Size in, take a large position, or size in slowly, whatever you want to do, however you invest. This is a great investment. The stock we're going to talk about today, though, I mean, the topic of the day is, I usually don't eat my words. I don't have my foot in my mouth. I'm usually pretty savvy. Today I'm having a little issues. But the topic for today is PSX001. It's an oral synthetic psilocybin drug candidate developed by Inconex. It's used in combination with psychotherapy for adults diagnosed with moderate to severe generalized anxiety disorder. I mean, we are in the world of everyone's got anxiety, right? Everyone has anxiety. Everyone has PTSD now, right? That's where we're at in the world. We're in 2025, soon to be 2026. Everyone has it. I'm not making light of mental illness. I have anxiety too. My apartment makes noise and it's very thin walls, and the person below me, it sounds like they throw cat balls and bowling balls around. And that gives me the anticipation, and that noise gives me anxiety. So anxiety is a real thing. So that's the second drug. So you have IHL42X. That's the oral sleep apnea medication, the number one asset and the most mind-boggling, healthcare disruptor drug. I would think is the most exciting thing on the market right now, besides all of the other, of course, we want to cure cancer, but so that's in just under $10 billion value, just under 10 billion. Well, let's see, 1 billion adults 18 to 55 suffer from sleep apnea. So that's so it's about an $8 billion, $9 billion dollar valuation alone, just the IHL42X, the oral sleep apnea drug. The second is and what we're talking about today is PSX-001. It's an oral synthetic psilocybin drug candidate developed by Inconex using a combination with psychotherapy for adults diagnosed with moderate to severe general anxiety disorder, like I said. So why do I want to talk about that particular drug today? Well, Monash University did a study, and I want to go through these notes about what happened in that study and specifically talk about some of the competitors. One of the things I wasn't very excited about PSX001 after I did some homework on it, because it is synthetic psilocybin. It's it's mushrooms. You can't invent mushrooms. They're already invented, right? You can take psilocybin and you can synthesize it. I guess you can use synthetic psilocybin in therapy, or you can attempt to get it regulated and be able to use it in therapy, and that's what everyone's doing. So there's another company with this asset, PSX001. That's our oral synthetic psilocybin drug, right? So it's a synthetic pill for that has small doses of psilocybin, which obviously comes from mushrooms. The candidate is developed by Inkenex using combination with psychotherapy. It's a combination with psychotherapy, right? So this is what they're doing. They're getting an FDA regulation, and they're in phase 2, and they're reporting outstanding results, super safe. And the whole point of this conversation today is that PSX-001 is a combination therapy. So what they are getting regulated, or what they're getting approved, is a combination. It's a therapist giving you therapy and supervision while you take this synthetic psilocybin. And why this is so exciting, why I jumped on here today to talk about it, is this Monash study. The trial called PSI-GAD-1 was conducted in Australia at Monash University. The design was a randomized, double-blind or triple-blind, as described, active placebo-controlled phase 2. The number of participants around 72 to 73 adult patients enrolled. The dosing was 2 dosing sessions with either PSX-001, 25 milligrams of synthetic psilocybin, or a placebo, plus matched hours of psychological support. So they had the psychological support piece, right? Preparation, dosing, integration. The primary endpoint, the change in that HAM-A, the Hamilton Anxiety Rating Scale score, from baseline to week 11, 6 weeks after final dosing for treatment versus placebo. Okay, so let's see we're still trading at 33.71. Psychotherapy and experiential therapy protocol. So this is where it gets really exciting. Hey, Angela. I just want to say hi to everybody over there on TikTok. Hey, Brian, Angela. I have to invite. It says I'm inviting Angela. I like Angela. Let me see. Invite. I'm hitting invite. It's not working. Anyway, so let's talk about this. So why I want to talk about PSX-001 is when you look at that, it was very exciting. August 26th or 28th. August 26th, they announced the results that I just talked to you about. The stock kind of exploded a little bit, and then the company dumped millions of shares because they needed to raise money for phase 3, right? So anyway, so after that, I had plenty of time to do the research on this, and one of the things I found out was there's another company called Compass Therapeutics, and Compass Therapeutics is just a little bit further along in the race. It's like like 2 rabbits running, and my initial thoughts on that were that, oh, well, you have Compass Therapeutics is the head in production, or not production, but in clinical trials for this psilocybin therapy. It's the same thing. It's a combination therapy, so it's not very exciting, etc. Until they came out with this Monash University study, which says that basically the design explicitly ensured equal hours of psychological support for both treatment and placebo arms to isolate the effect of the drug versus psychotherapy alone. The involvement of Monash's clinical psychedelic lab, led by Dr. Paul Licknatesy, in the design and execution. Okay, should I go through all the scientific stuff? Basically, the whole point I'm trying to make with this quick live is that it was well tolerated, no serious adverse effects, right? Only 1 of 73 withdrew during the 7-week program. No signs of increased suicidality or psychosis, according to the reports. There's some endpoints and stuff like that. If you want to talk about the science, you can look this up on your own. But the whole context and the reason why I jumped on here today to talk about PSX-001 is because I've never been that big of a fan of synthetic psilocybin. Anybody can take synthetic psilocybin, hire a couple of doctors and psychiatrists and therapists and this person and that person, and you've got enough money and you're raising millions and millions of dollars, you can do whatever you can do that. It's not like you're inventing a drug. So I wasn't that very excited about that. The reason why I'm excited about it now is what we're finding out is that regulators understand that psilocybin is synthetic, and it's not a race. So there's no race. It's not like the Compass is ever going to win and beat us at the psilocybin race or anything. It's in fact, it's more or less we are alongside them, because the regulatory steps are preparing the IND with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for the next trial, PSI GAD2 in U.S. UK. The magnitude, that's not it. This is it. Just a second. What's going on here? Just 1 second, guys. So the whole point I'm trying to make with PSX-001, I don't think I'm doing the greatest job talking about it. It is a synthetic psilocybin. It's very exciting because synthetic psilocybin in the healthcare industry, it's a very exciting time for this. And what we're finding out is the regulators, the FDA, is more interested in the experience of a therapist than it is the actual drug. So again, psilocybin already exists. No one's creating or no one's inventing psilocybin. They're taking psilocybin and and synthetic psilocybin. And yeah, so here it is. So why experiential therapy matters, PSX-001. And this is the reason for why we're talking today. Psilocybin on its own is not the treatment. The experience plus integration is the treatment. This is the entire these guys keep blowing up my. I'm gonna have to shut down my YouTube if these guys don't stop trolling me. So syllabus. Oh, okay, guys, here we are. I'm gonna focus. PSX-001. It's the Monash study. What we learned from this, and this is why it's really important. I want everyone to try to understand this so we can have the correct narrative. PSX-001, obviously synthetic psilocybin combination therapy. Psilocybin on its own is not the treatment. Not the treatment. Doesn't matter. We're not in a race with Compass Therapeutics. We're not going to lose a race to the finish line. The experience plus integration is the treatment. This is the entire competitive moat for Inconnex plus Monash, and why the phase 2 effect size crushed the placebo. Here's what makes experiential therapy absolutely essential. Okay, this is the important stuff, because we got to get to know these drugs. We have to get to know these assets, right? So the drug opens the door, the therapy walks you through it. Psilocybin increases emotional openness, neuroplasticity, cognitive flexibility, and the ability to revisit traumatic, rigid anxiety loops. But without trained therapists, those experiences don't convert into lasting change. Okay, so you need the combination therapy. It goes further. This is where it gets even more exciting. Monash structured the therapy to capture the heightened flexible brain state and to convert it into real behavioral shifts. Now, here's where it gets good. As somebody who's in school for addiction studies and is about to graduate with their AA in psychology and addiction studies, let me tell you about this. The therapist shapes the experience itself. This is the experiential part. Monash therapists guide mindset, expectations, psychological safety, emotional navigation during peak experience. So check this out. The therapists take the drug, the synthetic psilocybin. The therapists are trained first on, and this is, they're prioritizing this. If I'm not, I don't want to misspeak. They're prioritizing that the therapists have the experience to guide anyone who's using. This is where it gets exciting. Who's using this synthetic psilocybin, PSX-001. Compass is the same thing. This is why it's exciting. This is why there's no competition anymore. Again, PSX-001, it's a synthetic psilocybin drug. You cannot invent synthetic psilocybin. So nobody's winning the race. We're not in a race with Compass. We're alongside them. Just, you know, and it's basically about integrity in the therapeutic community and you know, buttoning it up when it comes to regulations. And what they're finding out is that they want the therapist to have the experience of using the PSX-001, the synthetic psilocybin, so that they can appropriately and accurately guide the mindset, the expectations, the psychological safety, the emotional navigation during peak experience. If you're peaking, that's what we used to call it back in the day. Patients in PSX-001 repeatedly reported increased insight, confronting root anxieties, and this translates into clinical outcomes. No trip sitter. This is clinical psychotherapy delivered during altered consciousness. That's the innovation. So that's the innovation. It's clinical psychotherapy delivered during altered consciousness. Integration, the real medicine. In the 6 weeks of post-dose integration stabilizes new emotional patterns. It rewrites maladaptive beliefs, links psychedelic insights to real-world behaviors, prevents rebound anxiety. This is why the effect maintained for 6+ weeks after dosing. Most psychedelic trials fail when integration is weak. Monash's integration model equals world-class. It's a world-class integration model. So the equal therapy hours in the placebo arm proved the drug effect. The equal therapy hours in the placebo arm, placebo means no drug, proved the drug effect. This is critical. Both arms had the same prep hours, same support hours, same integration. So the huge gap in outcome cannot be attributed to therapy alone. The experiential model made the drug's effect measurable and reliable. That's why HAM-A or HAM-A dropped 13 points in PSX-001. That's phenomenal. Okay, therapist reduced adverse events and dropouts. Therapist reduced adverse events and dropouts. Psychedelic therapy is only safe if emotional crises are managed. I'm going to get to the big point here any minute. Again, therapists reduce adverse events and dropouts. Psychedelic therapy is only safe if emotional crises are managed, somatic symptoms are recognized, disassociation or panic are mitigated, and grounding techniques are applied. Okay, so Monash therapists kept adverse events at zero. Okay, so serious events at zero serious events and only one dropout in the entire study. And that was probably because the guy, wanted to watch a football game or something like that. Who knows? That's why the FDA cares about Monash's protocol, not just the molecule. That's why I'm here today, talking about PS and catching up, or you're new to the stream. PSX-001, synthetic psilocybin, combination therapy. What we're talking about is the elimination of competition, because we're not inventing a drug. We're not trying to beat Compass to regulation. It's the same thing. It's basically, and this is what I want to talk about. It's combination therapy. So the FDA and the regulators are interested in the therapy piece more than they're interested in the actual molecule, okay? And the integrity of the therapy piece. And what InConnex Healthcare is doing is they started developing this a long time ago. If you recall, a few months ago, they started to make these therapy centers and in Australia, right? And I believe they're going to do the same thing here in the United States, and they're in phase 2 in clinical trials. And remember, all 3 assets are in phase 2/3. Okay, you have IXHL 42X, the obstructive sleep apnea drug, first ever pill. Take a pill, no more sleep apnea, no mask, no Silence of the Lambs. PSX-001, synthetic psilocybin combination therapy, and they have therapy centers. They're building the actual infrastructure, brick and mortar centers to do this in Australia already, and they're training their therapists. So the experience makes the treatment durable. SSRIs, if you don't know what that is, it's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Wow, I know that. Equals stop drug symptoms come back. I don't even know what that meant. But psilocybin plus experiential therapy equals create enduring psychological change. Okay, so yeah, SSRIs are like, it's more, those are more chemical, more toxic. Psilocybin, synthetic psilocybin, it's a mushroom, natural, right? SSRIs, they have suicidal effects. psilocybin has plus experiential therapy create enduring psychological change, right? If you know this, like, you might have friends now that are telling you that they do microdosing. This is what we're talking about, but this is FDA regulated. This is not some quack. The therapy element installs new beliefs, new coping mechanisms, new relationship patterns, and new interpretations of fear. This is what phase 2 numbers reflect. This is the real IP, not the protocol, not the molecule. Again, try to make this clear to everyone. The protocol, the therapy is the IP, the real IP. The combination of therapy and synthetic psilocybin. No one can beat us to it, right? We're already way ahead of everyone else. And it's all about the integrity of the therapy. And that's what FDA regulators are more interested in. Okay, this is how they generate. So again, okay, this is very important. All right, if we're going to get anything out of this today, this is the real IP, the protocol, not the molecule. You already know IXHL can't patent psilocybin. You cannot patent something that already exists, which is mushrooms, but they can patent the therapeutic protocol, the VR-assisted experiential exposure methods, the combination therapy, the therapist-guided experience model. This is how they generate market exclusivity. This is the whole commercial edge. Okay, they can patent the therapeutic protocol. So that's what they're patenting, the therapeutic protocol, the VR-assisted experiential exposure methods, the combination therapy. That's what they're patenting. That's what they're getting regulated. The therapist-guided experience model. So these guys are really smart. Again, the shares right now it's trading at the absolute floor, 33 cents. If I were you, just size in, buy, not financial advice, buy as much as this as you can right now. That's 2 assets I've talked about, an obstructive sleep apnea oral pill that's going to cure, you're not even going to need to wear these Silence of the Man, a CPAP machine mask that people don't comply with anyway. All right, so let's just go back to the live stream, see if anybody is asking any questions. There's 5 people listening. That's great. And we'll just go through the summary here and we'll shut it down. So the Monash PSX-001 trial worked because the therapy amplified the drug and the drug amplified the therapy. Okay, the therapy amplified the drug and the drug amplified the therapy. It's a synergistic treatment. Psilocybin cracks open rigid anxiety structures. Therapists leverage that window to rewire patterns. Integration locks in the new architecture. This is why the effect size is massive and clinically meaningful. This is also why future competitors can't simply sell psilocybin pills. You can't just sell psilocybin. You have to have the combination therapy. And they can't replicate the protocol, the training, or the experiential framework Monash built. Okay, so if you want, I can draft any kind of explainer or notes on this for you. Just reach out to me anytime at praytraderepeat@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your support. If anybody's watching, my website is praytraderepeat.com. There's lots of fun stuff on there. And yeah, just reach out to me. Thank you, everyone who listened today. Have a great day.